Welcome back to For Your Heart and Home. My name is Dee Dee. Welcome into my kitchen. So you've been using your bread machine for basic loaves, but you're ready to try something a little different without making things complicated. Hi friends, and welcome back to For Your Heart and Home. If you're new here, I'm so glad you're here. This channel is all about simple scratch cooking, using wholesome ingredients and creating nourishing food for the people we love. Today, I'm showing you how to make chewy, bakery-style bagels using your bread machine on the dough setting. The machine does all the work, mixing and kneading, while we finish them off the traditional way for that classic bagel texture. Let's start by adding our ingredients to the bread pan. I am using 1/2 cup warm water. I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and then I'm going to mill the freshly milled flour. I'm using hard white wheat here, and I will be putting 1.5 cups of flour after it has been milled. Once everything has been milled, I will also add my yeast, which will be about 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast. Bagels might seem intimidating, but they're actually very approachable when you let the bread machine handle the dough. This is a great recipe if you're baking at home more often or learning to work with fresh flour. The recipe I'm using today is a half and half recipe. I'm using half all-purpose flour and half freshly milled flour. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that over the holidays I purchased some conventionally milled flour, and so I'm using them up. So I'm going to be using the rest of my store-bought flour today with a bit of freshly milled flour to make these bagels. These bagels are hearty, filling, and perfect for breakfast, sandwiches, or stocking your freezer. Just a quick note, bagel dough should be firmer than regular bread dough. As the machine mixes, check the dough after a few minutes. It should look smooth and strong, not sticky or slack. So now that all my ingredients are in my bread pan, I'm going to get it in my bread machine. Now here is a look at my bread machine. The amount of water I put in would be less than would be called for in a bagel recipe because I'm using freshly milled flour. Freshly milled flour drinks more water than conventionally milled flour, and so you want to be careful in adding in too much water in the very beginning. So you will see me watching my bread machine for the first 5 or so minutes. I'm helping the machine to knead the dough together, and I will be drizzling in water as necessary to help the dough come together. It's really important that you put the bread machine to work, but in the first few minutes you have to be careful to watch over it to make sure the dough is coming together. You don't want to put the machine on and walk away, and in an hour and a half when the machine says it's done, you come back and the dough is not what you're expecting to see. The first 5 to 10 minutes are really critical. So I get in there with my spatula and I'm going to drizzle in some more water as needed to help this dough come together. Once that comes together, and again it takes about 5 minutes, I'm just going to let the machine do the rest of the work. As you can see, the dough is coming together, my sides are scraped down, so now I can leave the machine to do its thing. An hour and a half or so has gone by, so now it's time to shape my bagels. You're going to get a clean surface, you're going to sprinkle a bit of flour on your surface, then turn the dough out onto this clean work surface and divide it into equal portions. At first I wanted to do this into 8 bagels, but then I realized that the bagels were going to be too small, so I condensed them and did it in 6. So this gives you enough dough to make 6 really nice sized bagels. Once I have the amount I need, roll each piece into a small ball, and I like to allow it to do a second rise before I poke the hole into my bagel to create that bagel shape. I find that the dough rises more easily and more quickly before I put the hole in. So I'm just going to form this into a ball. I'm going to put it on my cookie tray, and I'm going to give it another 10 or 15 minutes to let it rise. In that time, if you want to, you can clean up your kitchen, you can get your pot of water boiling, because the next step will be to boil your bagels. Once again, don't worry about perfection. Again, you'll see that I was aiming for 8 bagels in this and I ended up with 6. So we are not going for perfection in my kitchen. Rustic all the way. It's part of the charm. All right, I have my 6 bagels ready to go. Again, I'm going to cover that with a clean towel and allow it to do a second rise. In the meantime, I'm going to start my pot of water. To my pot of water, I will be adding 2 tablespoons of baking soda. That helps to give your bagel that signature chew, along with boiling it in water. If you don't want to use baking soda, you can also use honey or a bit of sugar. Add that to your boiling water. Once the water comes to a boil, it will be time to form the bagel into its final shape and to boil it. As you can see, I'm going to take each bagel, I'm going to poke a hole in the middle, I'm going to stretch it out just a bit, and then put it back on my tray. Once I have all of them shaped, then I will start transferring them to the boiling water for the next step. Once the bagels are in the water, you want to bake them for about 30 seconds per side. Then you're going to remove them with a slotted spoon and place them on the baking tray you plan to put them in the oven on. Once they've been boiled, if you're planning on adding toppings, that will be the time to do so. You can use sesame seeds, poppy seeds, everything bagel seasoning. You can sprinkle it on while the bagels are still damp, or you can give the bagel an egg wash and then do the toppings to help keep them on the bagel. I usually don't add any toppings to my bagel, I just bake them plain, but again, this is something you can play around with when you feel comfortable with the entire process of making bagels. So I'm just going to go through and boil all 6 of these bagels, get them on the tray, and then get them into the oven. My oven has been preheating now, it's at 425, and so as soon as all 6 are boiled, I'm just going to put them in. So my bagels have been baking for a while. I transferred my bagels to the oven and baked them until they were golden brown, and look at the results. Beautiful, puffed up, and they are just delicious. As they cool, the crust will set and that classic bagel texture will develop. So don't worry. But you guys, these are beautiful, they're tasty, and we absolutely love these bagels in my house. I've made this with 100% hard white wheat. I've made this with 100% all-purpose flour, and as you can see, it also works with a half and half recipe. I will make sure that I link the recipe in the description box. I will also leave it at the end of the video, so if you'd like to screenshot that, you will have that at your convenience. So guys, I'm not gonna lie, I was really excited to cut into these bagels, and even while it was warm, against my better judgment, I started to cut into it, and it was absolutely delicious. So please give this a try and let me know in the comment section if you do and what your results were, because that's it, homemade bagels made simple with the help of a bread machine. These freeze wonderfully and make mornings feel just a little bit more special. Whether you enjoy them toasted with butter, cream cheese, or piled high with other fillings, they're just a satisfying from scratch staple. I hope through this series to share with you many ways you can use your bread machine to simplify things in your kitchen, to streamline things, because as busy moms, I know we could all use a little bit more help. So thank you for spending time with me today here at For Your Heart and Home. If you enjoyed this recipe, there's plenty more simple baking and scratch cooking coming your way. I'll see you in the next video.